He tried to intimidate me on his way out. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, i.e. that is Iconic Eunice. If you're new to this channel, I want to say welcome, and if you're a return subscriber, I want to say thank you so much for joining me here again today. I hope you love this video, and if you do love this video, I think you should hit the like button. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you're pretty new, I think you should hit the subscribe button as well. Because over here, we're chill, okay? We don't do a whole lot of craziness. We're just chill and we go with the vibes. You get me? So in this video, we're going to be talking about how my year ended last year and what I'm hoping to achieve this year. I've done a video similar to this. I did one last year and it was me recapping what 2023 was like for me and what I was hoping to gain in 2024. I just think it's such a fun way to kind of keep track with myself and keep track with some of the goals that I set for myself. And I was like, why not do it again this year? So I'm gonna sit down and do a full face beat because I had attempted to do this video like 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was having a holiday party. I was doing my makeup then and I was like, oh, perfect time to chit chat and talk to the people. However, it was the night of my party. I went to work. I came home. By the time I was getting ready, the party had already started, so I didn't have enough time to record without music playing or even gather my thoughts, or even, it was just off the whim, okay? I just recorded because I could, and that did not go so well. So the video, when I'm watching it back, it's super funny, and maybe I would edit that version and post it anyways because it was just so chaotic and random. But it wasn't organized at all. My thoughts were all over the place. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to recreate the look that I did for that party. So that's what I'm doing here today. I'm re-recording what I already recorded because it was too chaotic. Well, enough of the introduction. Let's get into this video. I do have the outfit I'm going to wear. It's this green dress. This is the green dress I wore that night. I didn't take any pictures in this dress. I didn't take any pictures in this makeup, so I'm going to recreate it and see if today I can take some pictures around the house in this outfit. So let's get going with the video. This time I made bullet points that are on my phone. I'm going to say some of my goals from last year was like me not drinking, me being a little bit more financial savvy. I think, yeah, me putting myself in different situations, like getting out of my comfort zone. And I think I kind of did a lot of those this year. I'll put a video I did last year so that we can go and see what I said, and then come to this video and watch and see if I really did what I said I was going to do. Not the sun leaving me. I use natural light to shoot, so the sun leaving me is crazy at this time when the sun has been out all day. It's 10 o'clock. No, it's 11:20 where I'm at. And the sun has been out shining. Now I want to sit down and record. It is saying goodbye to me. I think not. Come back out immediately. Anyways, let me get my notes so that way I don't miss any of the points I would like to make. Alright, first I'm going to touch base on the fact that while I'm doing this, while I'm talking, we're going to be doing this makeup. And I pray I'm able to keep it in check and not ramble or sound like an idiot. Alright, so first let's start with the drinking. My mirror is here, so if I'm not looking at you, it's because I'm looking at my mirror, because I do got to see myself while I do this in real time, not what the camera is saying, because sometimes the camera lies. So when it comes to drinking, I am not an alcoholic. I don't perceive myself as an alcoholic, but I love to indulge in wine. And the thing about alcohol that nobody tells you about is that it forces you to gain a tummy, okay? And when I drink all that sugar from wine, my tummy was getting bigger and I couldn't deal with it. I kid you not. So I usually would do like dry January every year because the holiday season, you just are spending so much time drinking. But for the longest, I've wanted to go a whole year without drinking to see if that would help me reduce the tummy issue that I was starting to see. And it's like that little bulge that just pops out. In my head, I was like, oh, this must be coming from alcohol because I'm African and a lot of my African uncles who drink have that beer belly. And I don't want the beer belly. So I was like, oh, we got to take it slow with the drinking and we got to figure this out. So last year, I didn't drink at all. And even up to now, I haven't drank anything apart from juice. And even with my juice, them things be watered down. I'm becoming my parents. I used to laugh at them for watering down their juice. But it's just less sugar and it just tastes like flavored water when you water down your juice. Honestly, my stomach is flatter, but I don't know if it's flatter for me not drinking. I mean, I'm also not taking as much food in, but I will say 2024 I ate out a lot. My stomach is flat, but it's not as flat as it could be. So this year we're going to try to cut out eating out as well and see if that would help, because we've cut out drinking, the stomach is a little flatter. So if we cut out processed foods and like processed sugars, that would also help and get us an even flatter stomach. So that's the plan for this year. But this is just an intake of what is going on, of what one of the main things that I was looking forward to this year. At parties, I thought I would miss alcohol. I did not. I did not miss alcohol at parties. I went to parties. I danced. Obviously, I did drink caffeine because I needed to stay awake. So I was like hyped up on caffeine. Whenever I would have a party to go to, I would just drink like a cup of coffee just to get me to stay awake. And I was able to go to the party. I was able to interact with people. I was able to dance without caring who was watching, which is what I think I relied on alcohol a lot for. Like when I go to parties, I like to drink just because I'm like, oh, I'm socially awkward. But no, last summer 2024, I was in them functions, turning up, okay? On that dance floor, breaking it down with no shame in my eye. So I don't think I need alcohol to function. Now that I've rambled about that, I'm going to try not to really ramble and try to stick to the point. So let's talk other things I experienced in 2024. So this is my first year in management. I have wanted management for a long time. I graduated with a degree in finance and I minored in management when I was in school. And I graduated I graduated in 2016. And I haven't gone to get my master's because I just don't know that road is for me. For one, it's expensive, and two, it's tedious. And I just don't know if I have that commitment in me. But I graduated, and at first I wanted to work in finance, and I was looking for jobs in finance, and I got structured settlements, and I didn't like structured settlements, and I really wanted to do this fashion thing. To this day, I still want to do fashion. I still would love to sit in front rows. I still want to get into the room and help other women get into said rooms, because I just think whenever I'm watching fashion content, the black girls are always struggling. Like, we are not being if you're not a famous black girl, we're not being invited to the main shows, like the big shows like Dior. We are basically just fanfaring outside. Even like the biggest creators that I watch who go to Fashion Week, they are not inside of those shows. They are usually outside getting their pictures taken. It's just really hard to get like into those shows for a lot of black women, from what I've seen watching certain fashion content creators. So I still have the dream of like getting in some way, and I pray that more doors are open for us. But I'm saying all this because I left finance because I was like, I want to pursue fashion one way or another. And guess where I ended up? Where I think a lot of us who want to do fashion end up, in retail. The first job I got in retail was like fine. It was fashion adjacent. We had fashion shows. It was a store, but we had like event fashion shows. So I really loved that. After that, I had to get into the real world because when I'm not in New York, so access to like real fashion related things is harder because I'm not close to New York, and I have bills to pay, so I just landed in retail. And in that first job, I was really working towards management. I wanted to climb to the very top of the mountain with that company, and I was able to get my first role as a key holder, which is like the assistant to the assistant manager technically. And I really worked for that role. Like, I pushed myself beyond. I was so unhappy trying to accomplish that, but I was like, if I can just get this title, and I know I could, I'll be able to get the other titles. Girl, they put me to the work. I got skipped over the first time, and I finally got it. And by the time I was getting it, I was exiting. And the company was shutting down. And I was now in full-blown retail. Like, full-blown retail. I got a job in Canada Goose in 2021 as a key holder for their operations team. But I had to leave because I was visiting Sierra Leone. And I like rules, and I realized a lot of people did not like rules. They literally went to work so the rules can, like, and they worked as though the rules did not apply to them. And I got my first dose of being cursed out because I told someone they shouldn't do what they were doing. And I said, whoa, 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 sir, you know the rules. I know the rules. Why are you being mean to me right now because I'm telling you what you can and cannot do? I said, this is too much. I can't take it. So I dipped on out, and I went to Sierra Leone with my father. And when I came back, I just did like hop and skip jobs. That's what I did. I was like, I don't want to work no more. I'm gonna find my own way. At this time, I was like, I'm gonna find my own way. I'm gonna go ahead and be a big old philanthropist. I'm gonna run a charity. And then working with family did not work out so well either. So I was like, oh, working with family did not work out so well because it was gonna be a family charity. I said, this is not working out. Where there's too much infighting, and I can't do it either. So I just did side jobs until we moved, and I got a key holder role here. And the last company I got a key holder role for, they were on the verge of closing too. And then the company I'm at now snagged me for a assistant management job. See how I went down the rabbit hole to get to this point? They grabbed me for an assistant management job. They were looking for cheap labor. How you gonna get cheap labor if someone is experienced in assistant managing, or if someone has any type of like know-it-all in assistant management? They're gonna charge you an arm and a leg to take them on. And the only way you can get cheap labor is to get a first-timer who doesn't know the industry as well to do the job for the low price of whatever the heck you want to offer them, because they're just looking for the opportunity. And that was me. I said all that to say I got in this position, and it already started off rocky. Okay, my manager was a man, and it's very weird because I like men. I like men, not in the sense of like I'm male-centered and I want to be in the face of a man all the time. I just enjoy men when they're like strategically thinking, like they're not always wrapped up in emotions. Also, I don't know what I mean, I don't interact with a lot of men, so in my mind I was just like, men just always look to be in leadership. They always seem to have it together when they're in leadership. So I just assumed like they know what they're doing. I don't know why I thought that. I got into this position. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. I said, oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't like men as much as I think I like men. I just thought men were like rational. They think like they don't think with emotions. Oh boy, was I wrong. Okay. The first time of meeting the manager I was going to be assisting, mind you, he didn't get to hire me. They hired me like while he was in his training to get put on, and I guess in his mind he had people already in line that he wanted to bring on for this position. But by the time he was coming back from his training, they had already put Eunice in there, and I don't think that went well with him. But he couldn't say anything to our area manager because the deed was done. The first time I met him, they just wanted me to do a meet. It wasn't like an interview or nothing. It was a meeting. It was like, go meet this man, see how you like this man, and then we can go from there. Met him. He was a regular guy. I didn't think anything of it. When I first met him, he made me wait. He made me wait a good strong like 10-15 minutes before he came out. I don't know what he was doing. He just made me wait. The girl who recruited me for the position was there. Luckily, me and her were chit-chatting, but this man made me wait. I said, ooh, that's a red flag. What are you making me wait for? We're just meeting and greeting, and we're dipping on out after this, but he made me wait. Cool. I said, I can rock with that. It was time. I was already hired. Then they were like, you got to give them a reference. I gave them my reference. And he was like, I'm gonna have to call the references, call the references, all of that. And it was time to give him my schedule. And this man just sat on my schedule. And and at this point in 2024, I was like, I'm in the position where I'm not gonna chase nothing. I'm not gonna stress myself out about nothing. I'm not gonna chase nothing. I'm not gonna stress myself out about anything. I'm not gonna overthink nothing. I'm just gonna take everything as it comes. So let's say I'm starting next week and it's this week, and at first I was going to do training with them, but I was like, oh no, I don't want to do training anymore. I'm just going to go to my regular job, and when they send me their schedule, I can start training when I start working. I'm not going to go out of my way for them. I told the man that. I said, hey, I can't do training like I said I would, but when you send the schedule, just let me know. This is the last day of my job. So I'll be prepared to like get going with you guys. I'm supposed to start next week. I'm like, now Friday, no schedule. Saturday, no schedule. Next time I'm supposed to start next week, Wednesday, no schedule. My brother, what happened to the schedule? And I was like, I'm not gonna ask this man. So I'm now sitting there. It is now Tuesday, one day before I'm starting. And I still don't see a schedule. So I was like, okay, this is weird. I'm just going to call the store because that's what I had access to. So I called the store. And I'm like, hey, I'm the new hire. I'm supposed to be starting tomorrow. I don't have no schedule. The key holder at the time answers and he said, oh, I don't know where the schedules are. I can't find the schedules. I was like, cool. No problem. Did they send the schedule out to you? He said no. So I said, okay, no problem. Hung up. Boom. I said, you know what? Worst push come to shove, I'll just show up there at like when the mall open and we can discuss and see. 6 o'clock. Business hours are over. That's when the man texted me. This is supposed to be the manager that's supposed to be managing me. Or I'm supposed to be assisting. He texted me at like 6 p.m. End of business day, talking about some, oh, here's the schedule, da, 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 da. I was like, hey, I called the store. I'm not understanding why I'm getting the schedule now. So I get in and he's messing up my name. He's saying something utterly not my name. I'm like, I'm gonna let it slide. He's not saying the wrong name. He's just mispronouncing my name. He's like emphasizing parts of my name that don't need to be emphasized. So I'm like, I'm gonna let it rock. And as soon as I get in, I'm like, bruh, do you always take this long to send schedules? He starts making excuses. Oh, it was so busy, I couldn't get the schedules out. I'm like, bro, in my head, I'm like, you have a new hire coming in a day or two, and you don't know how to send the schedule out so the person can get it in time so they can program themselves in preparation for the days to come. But I didn't say anything. I let it slide. Those were the signs of the red flags. Okay, got the scheduling situation situated. I don't know if I should do my eyes or if I should just do my skin. I'm gonna do my skin. I'm gonna do my eyes. Let me do, yeah. Got the situation settled and I started. Girl, I was in for a ride. These people damn near beat me black and blue. My boss and the key holder, both men, just started bullying me. Not even hiding it, bullying. Straight up bullying. Like, first they were nice. And then I guess they realized I just was there for my money. And I wasn't there for a friendship. I was just there to collect my money and go. And I guess that didn't sit well with them because the way these men flipped on me, I should have seen it coming. I saw it coming. I knew it would be like that. I had hopes. I did. Like, this man will say, oh, we're gonna train on this. Then the day will come and he will say nothing. And mind you, like I said, I'm in the mindset of I'm not chasing anybody. I'm gonna be secure. If the person says we're gonna do it and they don't come up, they don't talk about it the next day, then we're not gonna do it, and I'm not gonna bring it up. We just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be like, are we doing this? No. That's what I had to do in my first job, and that was so tedious. I was constantly chasing after people to help me get to another level. I said, I'm not doing that no more. So whenever he'll be like, we'll train on this, I was like, okay, bet. If the next day he doesn't mention it, I'm like, cool, that's fine. You don't want to train on it today? That's okay. So I was just cooling. Anything, I wasn't attached. To this day, I'm still not attached to this job emotionally. My first few jobs, I was very emotionally attached. I had goals. I was like, I want to do ABC. And I quickly learned, like, that's not how corporate America runs. And I said, no more. Never again. I'm just gonna do my very best to get the job done the way I can get the job done and call it a day. So yeah. But he would say, we'll train on this, we didn't train on it. Then he would cut down my hours. I was working, I wasn't able to work on Sundays, but I was getting 37 hours. I'm supposed to be getting like 39. Then sometimes he'll be like, oh, I forgot when I'm supposed to work, and then he would come in and he would stay long hours, which was really awkward for me. It was just weird. He would stay past his time that he's supposed to be at the store. He would just prolong his stay all the way to the time I'm supposed to clock out. I said, this is weird. And then one day, he messaged me early in the morning. He's like, oh, I clocked in and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be there. And now I'm gone. I said, okay, that's fine. That happens to the best of us. I've never woken up, especially not early in the morning. I get to the store, and there's like some type of chocolate or something brown in the toilet on this day. And I'm like, what the heck? So I flush it, and I just minded my business. And it would be things like that. He would like, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose. I don't know. It was just odd behaviors that I just couldn't understand. What broke the camel's back was just, there was a day, one day he was like, pick that up from the floor. It was tissue. He was like, can you pick that up off the floor? I'm like, this is weird. I know this man is testing me, but I'm not going to cave and get into a whole argument with this person, because that's what they're aiming at. I picked the stuff off the floor. Then out of nowhere, they just start moving the store around. They're not giving me instructions. Mind you, usually they'll give me instructions, or this is what we're going to do today, this is what we're going to do today. They just start moving the store around. Then they ask me for my opinion. I said, bro, you're being mad disrespectful right now. And he was. He had a very condescending mood to him that day. I said, first you're asking me to pick things off the floor that obviously you could pick up off the floor, somebody else could pick up off the floor, or it's not even that big of a deal, and now you're being like aggressive towards me. And he's like, do you want to talk about it? Do you want, in the middle of the floor? I said, I don't want to talk about nothing. You're pissing me off right now, and I don't want to talk about nothing. So at this point, I'm like, you know what, this man is my manager, let me go apologize. Like, you're being rude, but I should not be rude back to you. That's just how I was raised. I can only control me, I can't control you. Patch things up, same thing. And then what really made me upset is that I would work all week to meet my goal, and in the very last day, he would just switch the goal to a higher number. And he did that for a couple of times. By the third time, I had had enough, and I snapped on the sales floor and I went off. I said, bruh, if you don't like me, it's cool, but don't try to make my life miserable, because I don't know why you're even making my life miserable. I just want to come to work, do my job, and go home. He was like, yeah, me too. But you're not acting like it. You're acting like I'm scorning you because I don't want to have little chit-chat discussions with you, and I don't. At first I was open to it, but based on the behaviors you've given me, I don't want to have no dang on discussions with you, sir. Quite frankly, I'm terrified of you right now. I don't want to be a friend. I don't want to be a friend. I don't know if that was the issue, but I didn't want to be that man's friend at all. And like, it would even be weird because he would text me at 9 p.m. to ask me questions about the day or what. At this one time, I had called out, and then the next day when I went in, he was like, oh, can you cover this shift for me? He didn't tell me. He just says, can we switch? I said, okay. He switched with me just so he could call out the next day. Mind you, he didn't tell me. He just said, do you want to switch shifts? And I knew it was some BS, but I still switched with him. And then he just called out the next day. I was like, what is going on? I had it. So when I snapped, in my head, I had every right to. Because you want me angry. You want me to be mad. And he told our area manager that I was being disrespectful and I was being insubordinate and I was being personal with him. Mind you, this man is hitting my phone up at 9 p.m. to tell me about rubbish when the day is done. The hour we're clocked out. Why are you hitting my phone up at 9 to tell me about things that you could have texted me earlier in the day? But I'm making it personal because I'm standing up for myself. But when I first got in, I didn't want no issues. I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of like stereotyping me. So I was really eating a lot of the weird things they were doing to me. I was eating it. I was like, I'm not going to bite the bullet. I'm not going to bite the bullet in which you all are seeking for me to bite. I'm not going to give you that pleasure. You're not getting that from me. But it just kept going and going. Luckily, the key holder quit, and he seemed mad about the key holder quitting because they were in cahoots to bully me. Then, when he finally told my area manager that I was bullying him or I was being rude to him, my area manager was like, all right, let's have a discussion. Let's have a meeting. My man's didn't want to have this meeting. If I'm being so nasty and so rude to you, you will think, and you filed a complaint, you would think you want to sit down and discuss what's making me so nasty and rude to you. No, he didn't want to have a discussion. Why? Because he knew there were things I was going to say. I started taking notes. It got so bad that I started taking notes and documenting things that were happening to me. Because I was like, at some point, I'm going to HR with this. That's why. He didn't want to sit down and discuss it. So he was drawing it out. And my area manager had it with him. And my area manager was like, one day I called out, and the next day he was like, he's gonna call. The day we're supposed to, one day, my area manager set a date for us to have this meeting, and I had called out the day before the day of the meeting, and the man knew about the meeting. The next day, the day of the meeting, he calls out. My area manager said, okay, no problem. The next day I was supposed to have a day off, but my area manager still wanted to have this meeting because she just needed for us to get on the same page because we were in a store and we had to keep working together. If I'm the one who's perpetrating you, you would think you would want to put the nail in my coffin since I'm such the bad guy. But he's ducking this meeting. So then my area manager was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting. Since you're going to be off, Eunice, I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting for the both of y'all. And when he comes in tomorrow, he's just going to be ambushed with the Zoom meeting. I said, bet. She did. She set up the Zoom meeting. And he was ambushed with the Zoom meeting. And I guess that really made him mad because he had to sit there and listen to, and hear me say the things that he had been doing to me, which was not a lie. And I guess that made him very mad because he quit. After that meeting, he quit. I said, thank God. Look at Jesus working on my behalf. This, I don't know if it's showing on camera, but it's purple. The man left. But I wanted to tell that story because I was moving out of fear, okay? I'm a very vocal person. Like, when you mess with me, I can get very nasty very quickly. I have an anger to me. I have a dark anger to me. I can read you for filth immediately. But this was a new job. I'm black. One is Spanish. One is, I think, yeah. My manager was Spanish and my key holder was white. And I'm black. And I'm trying to navigate the space. And I'm trying to also find my leadership style. The key holder just refused to listen to me altogether. Like, if I tell him something, he would just get really defensive about it. He would get nasty. He would get rude. And I would tell my manager about it, but he would egg it on. So I said, you know what? You're not going to kill me for my mother and my father. I'm just going to keep quiet and just let y'all run amok. And they did. But in the end, they got tired and then they quit. And I was like, look at God. Y'all thought you about to take me out, but I have a God who is bigger than you and better than you. And the bullying that y'all thought you were about to give me, he's not going to let you win. And you did it. And they didn't. They didn't win. They ended up leaving. But in this situation, I learned to be persevere. I learned to persevere. Okay. This was a position I've wanted. Oh, wow. The batteries died quick. This was a position I've wanted for a while. And I struggled to get this position. I did. I struggled. My first, the times that I wanted it, people didn't think like I could do it because I was quiet. Some people thought I couldn't maintain my composure or whatever. But I got it. And then for me to have gotten it and then to interact with people who were really being so mean to me for no reason. Mind you, I was being so nice to them. Like when they had returns, I was making sure I put the returns back underneath them. Even if I worked with a person for a while and they bought something else, I'll put it underneath them. If they were struggling, I would help. Just to show that, hey, I'm not here to be nasty with y'all. I'm here to like work with y'all and like, and I would tell him, that man, that the manager, that I was like, bro, regardless of how you feel, I'm here to support you. I'm your assistant. I'm here to make sure you get all the things you need to get done in the week, and I'm here to help you do that. But it was still rude and nasty and mean, and I didn't pay them no mind. In this situation, I focused on my work. I made sure whatever task that was given to me, I completed it. Because I knew it was a game, and the game was going to be like, oh, she doesn't follow through. She doesn't da-da-da. I said, okay, whatever the game is, I'm going to put it into it. Whatever y'all do, I'm not going to respond. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to go home. And that's what I did. I'm like, I'm not required to have deep conversations with y'all. I'm not required to get to know you deeper. I'm only here to execute and leave. And that's what I did. For however many months I was there with them, I came in, I clocked in, I did the work that was supposed to be done, and I dipped on out. And then in the end, I learned that it's okay for me to stand up for myself. Even if somebody's about to label me the angry black woman, it's okay for me to be angry because people are picking on me. It's okay for me to actually be like, hey, don't do that to me because I'm a human being. And it doesn't matter how the person perceives it. It's okay for me to go off on a tangent if somebody is being so blatantly nasty to me. That's what I learned last year in this position. I learned to stand up for myself. I learned to maintain my composure. I learned to cancel out all of the noise and focus on what I needed to focus on, and just be the exemplary person that I am, and work hard and make sure I do what I'm supposed to do, because I can only control me. So many times I wanted to quit, and my younger sister talked me out of it. She was like, you have worked really hard to get this position. You're not about to quit because some people are mean. You're gonna be there. She's like, you showing up is a discomfort for them, because the more they're working hard to get you to quit, but you're not quitting and you're showing up, it's bothering them, because obviously you're doing these things so you can quit. And if you quit, you're going to give them the satisfaction that they're seeking. And I took that to heart. And I showed up every day and I did my work. And I did my work exceptionally well. So that's what I learned being in management. Also, as a black woman, it doesn't matter how high you go, they find it hard to take you seriously. It doesn't matter how smart you are, they will try to undermine you. It doesn't matter how kind you are, they will try to undermine you. But you have to know your why, and you have to pay attention to that. And you have to make sure whatever goal it is that you've set for yourself, you don't let anybody take that from you, because they're going to treat you any old kind of way because they feel like they can, and they think that you're powerless. And if you have to stand up for yourself, irregardless of what they're going to say, do it. Stand up for yourself, be smart, record everything. That's what I did. I recorded everything. I made sure I had points when we went into that meeting. I had I said what I was gonna say. I took ownership of whatever I did wrong, and that was that on that, and I didn't care. He tried to intimidate me on his way out. He would call out. I didn't care. I went and covered my shift. At the end of the day, he looked bad. My area manager was like, we're going to put him on the never hire again list. And that's where he ended up. So I wanted to say that. The last year, that's what I dealt with for like 8-9 months. I have a new manager. She's okay. The key holder, he's white. He has the same issues. He doesn't want to listen to what I have to say. I ignore him and I do my job and I show up and I don't let him intimidate me.